Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thank you, Steve. Today we'll be speaking with a gentleman who owns multiple RV parks and manufactured housing communities in the Midwest and Southeast parts of the country. He's looking for work campers for several positions. Today's episode is sponsored by Workamper News. With its diamond and platinum membership tools, Workamper News is much more than just a job listing website. When you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it can be to turn your work camping dreams into reality. The one-year memberships open the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original resource for work camping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with a community of work campers, and view resources compiled by experts who've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for many years. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, then a diamond or platinum membership is for you. You can even get started with a free 30-day trial by visiting www.workamper.com/trial. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. Ryan Groene is one of the principal owners of Treeside Capital. It's a company that invests in RV and manufactured housing parks in several states. Those parks form what are called Treeside Communities. When the interview was recorded a few weeks ago, Ryan said the firm owns and manages 4 communities in the Midwest and Southeast United States. 2 were located in eastern Tennessee and 2 were located in Kentucky, one of which was just across the river from Cincinnati, Ohio. As of today, the company's website says the firm owns 14 communities in Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, Tennessee, and West Virginia. The RV parks are primarily seasonal sites where owners keep their units at the park full-time and visit on weekends or for a few weeks at a time. But the parks do have a few short-term sites available for travelers to stay for a night or two. Ryan said the company hires work campers at all locations to help run the general stores, perform maintenance, clean up the parks, and help manage day-to-day operations. Most of the time, work campers put in 20 to 40 hours a week in exchange for a free full hookup RV site. They also get a monthly stipend that isn't based on the number of hours worked. Depending upon the position for which they were hired, some work campers may put in a few hours one week and considerably more the next. Ryan explains how it all works. He's looking for work campers who are good problem solvers and aren't afraid to get their hands dirty if they're working in a maintenance position. He also needs friendly people to work in the camp stores and others who are good with people and willing to provide good customer service. To tell us more about his company and what he's looking for in work campers, please welcome Ryan Groene, one of the principal owners of Treeside Communities, to the show. Thanks for joining me today, Ryan. I appreciate your time. Tell me a little bit about Treeside Communities and the types of services that you provide.
Thanks, Greg, for having me on. I'm glad to hopefully add some value to your audience. So the type of things we do at Treeside Communities is we are owners of multiple RV parks across the country, mainly in the Midwest and the Southeast. We're currently growing. We have 4 under our ownership and management right now. Most of our parks are seasonal permanent sites where people keep their campers there kind of all year round, and they come on the weekends or they come for a few weeks at a time. We do have a certain small percentage of our sites that are transient, or people can come for a few nights or a few weekends out of the year if they wish. We do keep a little bit of those sites open, but for the majority, we are a permanent site where people pay annual dues, and we're only open during the nice weather here in the Midwest. And in the Southeast, some of our parks stay open year-round just because the weather's a little bit more, it's better in the winter. Most people are traveling back and forth. So that's kind of the things that we offer. We're always looking for more communities to buy and fix up and make nice places for people to visit with their families. And we're always looking for work campers and other positions within our company. We offer typically management and maintenance positions, and then some office positions as well.
Are you looking for work campers in all of your parks?
We are. Yes. We're always looking for more work campers within all of our parks.
Can you tell us where the parks are located?
Yeah, so we have two parks in eastern Tennessee, one on Douglas Lake, right outside of Knoxville, and then the other is on Norris Lake, about half an hour north of Knoxville, Tennessee. And then the other two are located in Kentucky. One is on Lake Cumberland, Jamestown. It's called Timber Point Resort. And then the other is right outside of Cincinnati, right off of I-75. It's called Northern Kentucky RV Park. That is in Dry Ridge, Kentucky.
Very good. And how long has your company been utilizing Workampers?
We've been utilizing Workampers from the very beginning.
From the very beginning, okay.
Since we've purchased these communities, we started with Workampers. We actually found you can also find Workampers within the community, right? It's not just associated to the website, even though we have used the platform before, and we actually found a manager for one of our Tennessee locations through Workamper by posting a job there, and he applied, and then he drove all the way from Arizona with him and his family. So it's a very great product and great platform for the RV industry. And also, we own some mobile home parks as well. And we utilize, wouldn't call it a work camper, but people that live within the park, we make them maintenance and management. So very similar to the work camper type situation. And then we also are growing, so we're always looking for more folks to join our team too.
Okay. So, of the parks that you mentioned, it didn't sound like any of them were in the Southeast specifically. So are all four of them seasonal, or is one a year-round park?
We have two parks in Tennessee. Those are both open year-round. That's what I would determine as the Southeast. It depends on who you reference, right?
Okay.
Or what you talk to. But if you talk to people in Tennessee, they're not going to say it's part of the Midwest. They're going to say it's part of the South, right? So yeah. And then it's open. We're open year round there. It does get cold in the winter there, but it doesn't get as cold as what may get in Ohio or northern climates like Montana. Sure. But yes, we do not have anything directly. Like I actually live in Charleston, South Carolina. So around here in the winter, it's much more a moderate of a climate than in Tennessee even. So we are still open year round there though.
What are some of the types of jobs your work campers are doing for you?
So our work campers do a variety of services for us. At one location, they run the general store, the camp store, where we sell just miscellaneous camp products. We have a gentleman that does our maintenance, like if we have a water line break or we just need some general cleanup, or if we have an electrical outlet kind of short or whatever, he can fix the breaker. He's very handy, and he actually lives on site, which is great. And then another position at our locations is an actual managerial position where they're actually running the day-to-day of the operations, and they're making sure campers are in the right locations, customer service is handled. We also have some rental cabins at one of our locations. So just making sure that they've been cleaned by our cleaner and just making sure the campground looks good overall. They're kind of the front person for the park. And then they also do some maintenance as well for us at that location, just because it's a fixed site campground. So there's not as much turnover as you would have in some of our other locations.
How many hours are they typically working?
Depending on the location and the job, we're typically 20 to 40 hours a week. Could be as low as 10 hours a week, pending the time of year and the position. The camp stores are typically a little bit less just because people don't want to, they're typically just trading a little bit of time for some off their rent. And then the maintenance is mainly more a kind of an ad hoc position, right? If something, you don't know when something's going to happen. So it could be 5 hours this week, could be 20 hours next week. It just depends on what's going on within the park. But typically it's anywhere from 10 to 20 hours a week, all the way up to 20 to 40, pending the position and the time of year.
What type of compensation are you providing to work campers?
So we have a wide variety of what we do. We pay a monthly stipend, like a monthly pay. Hey, here's the amount that we're going to pay per month. We're not requiring a set amount of hours. For that would be more a higher level position, like our manager. And then we either just give them free lot, or we discount the lot rent and they just pay us back, or we basically take their hours and move it to like a work credit for the camping position. And it's all depending on each location is a little different on how we handle it, just because of our accounting. And I know it's kind of a weird situation with here recently with the IRS and that kind of stuff. But anyways, that's typically what we do. We typically just pay a certain amount per month, or we just apply it to their rent.
Okay. So all of the work campers are not getting a free RV site, but they are getting a site available, and they're paying for that through working up to 20 hours a week, 20 to 40?
Correct. Our manager actually gets a free site at one of the locations. The other one gets a discounted site. So exactly like you said, they are getting not each position gets a free site. It just depends on the position that they have. But yes, you're correct.
Okay, so for those who are not getting a free site, are they still working 20 hours a week to get the discounted site?
Correct, yes. Or it's an ad hoc type on call. Hey, we have a water line break. We need it fixed. So it may be less, maybe more hours, right? Just depends on what's going on at the actual campground.
How many Workampers do you expect to hire?
This year we have somewhere between 5 and 10 is where we have this year.
And how many?
And in the future, we're looking to probably hire, as we grow, probably 10 to 20 or more.
Okay. How many of them return season after season?
Considering this is our first season at most of the campgrounds, I honestly hopefully all of them, but I'm not sure yet. So.
Okay. Very good. What types of traits and qualifications are you looking for in your Workampers?
So for our maintenance positions, we're looking for somebody that is a good problem solver, is obviously handy, can fix problems, or if they don't know how to fix something, they're not afraid to ask questions, or someone that's a little bit more always looking out for a problem, right? They're not afraid to get dirty, because digging up a hole to fix a water line is not fun, right? A lot of people don't enjoy doing that. And they got to be able to fix it too, right? I've done that, and it's you got to have a unique skill set to be able to do that. And then when you get into electrical is a whole nother issue. So typically with the maintenance or kind of that type of help, we're looking for somebody that's got previous trade experience or that type of qualities in the past. For a camp, like a camp store person, really it's somebody that's just can use a cash register and just kind of friendly, right? It doesn't necessarily have to have any real experience. It's not super in-depth work. It's just somebody that's got good customer service skills and can use probably a computer or is trainable. As far as a manager position, we're looking for somebody that's friendly, but also already out looking in the campground for problems, right? They know they're anticipating problems, or they're not afraid to ask questions. And a lot of these positions are pretty autonomous, meaning there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom, right? Because we're not at our campground every day of the week. We do have kind of either me or my business partner are at the campgrounds semi-frequently. It could be once a week, could be once a month, but it is a lot of flexibility from the manager and maintenance position. And the manager typically oversees the maintenance position, just making sure things are getting done. And then as far as like customers, how they pay and how we handle kind of invoices and stuff like that, we have a back office team that works with the manager on handling that stuff. Just because if you've been in a lot of campgrounds, the Wi-Fi can be very spotty. So expecting the manager to kind of work and do invoicing and different things with the customer, we typically just keep that at our back office here.
You had mentioned that some of the Workampers might be involved in electrical or plumbing issues. Does that mean they need to be licensed?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, if it gets to that, we do bring in a licensed team. It could be simple stuff, like a water line break or replacing an electrical breaker. Anything larger that we need licensed people for, we definitely we contract that out.
And do you provide any training for any of the positions?
We do, yeah. We provide as much training as we can on what our expectations are, what the role looks like, and then we provide training we use Rent Manager for a lot of our stuff, and then which is a property management software. If we ask them to use that. We also use CampSpot at one of our locations, so we train them on that. And then as far as the maintenance goes, I mean, we do provide training on that, but it's mainly just, hey, if there's a problem, how do I go about getting in contact with somebody? Here's our expectations, and then just our different systems that we use internally.
When do you begin recruiting?
All the time. I mean,
all the time. Okay.
Yeah, it's because you never know, right? You never know when somebody's going to leave or they say, hey, this isn't working for me anymore. But really, if we shut down the campground, we typically start looking in about January is when we start looking, because we typically open up around April in most of our locations. But if it's a full year campground or year round, we're always looking. I mean, right? You're always kind of looking, because we have other properties throughout the Midwest and Southeast that could even be a fit at a future date. So it's good to just network and keep that Rolodex filled with potential people in the future, because some people will say, hey, I'm not looking for a position until April of 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you start contacting them now. But if we were to open up in April, we'll start looking in probably January. We'll post a role.
What's involved in your hiring and interviewing process?
Typically, the hiring process is they apply for the position online. We try to see if they can email us just to see if they can use the computer. That's not necessarily a requirement. It just depends on the position. We'll go through the resumes. We'll set up calls. We'll ask them a variety of questions about their past, what they're looking for, because it's really important. What I found is what do they want and what do they expect? Because if our expectations are different than theirs, then it's not going to work, right? If I'm expecting somebody to work 40 hours a week and they only want 10 hours a week, then it's just not going to work. I mean, it's really about what that Workamper wants out of the position. And then does that meet what we're seeking, right? And if it's not that, maybe we have something else that could work, and we just go through kind of qualifications. Hey, what's your typical questions? And we just have a conversation. And if the conversation goes well and they kind of meet our what we're expecting out of the role, then we'll set up another call or maybe a Zoom call or even an in-person, pending where they are. Because the good thing about Workampers is if they show up and if it doesn't work, can stay as a camper or they can move on to their next location. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for long-term folks typically. So we want to see if it's a match within our company and within what they're looking for. Because if they're only looking for 10 hours a week and our position's 30 hours a week, I know I said that already, but it's just not going to fit. It's more about match. And then we go into deeper level questions, and it's not super critical of a process. It's pretty straightforward. And there's some certain qualifications that we're always looking for, mainly just positive outlook, good problem solvers, and kind of can work on their own and ask questions if needed is the biggest component for us.
What can a Workamper do to stand out among the other applicants if they really want the job?
I would say pending the position, it definitely comes down to qualifications first, right? So if we're looking for somebody that is available for the next 6 months, and that's what we need to stand out, I would say just be willing to maybe go above and beyond what the role entails, right? Like say, hey, give examples of what you've done in the past, or do research on the campground, right? Or do research on myself or my business partner, and just kind of know what we're looking for or who we are. That always stands out to me, right? Kind of fixing our problem before we know we have a problem, right? So if you can say, hey, I've done X, Y, Z, and I can do this for the campground, I think the campground needs this, or I've done this in the past. I mean, that's always good to know too. And we're a family type company. We try not to be like corporate-y or anything. We're pretty low level, like as far as like we give a lot of freedom and flexibility, and we're easy to work for. So I would say just answering emails and answering calls and showing up to our meeting if we have one. That's the biggest thing for me, honestly.
What kind of commitment are you looking for from the Workampers?
Pending the position, really just the commitment that we're looking for in the role specific, right? So if I post a seasonal position and you say like it's April through October in Tennessee or Kentucky, for instance, and you say you can work that whole thing, I expect you to work the whole thing. Obviously, bar family emergencies or certain situations. If I'm looking for somebody to only work a month and you want to work 2 months, that's possible, right? But if you're only I'm always looking for more versus less when it comes to the roles. And it's mainly matching that person to our role specific is what we're looking for.
Okay, very good. Just to reiterate, it's not a paid position. It is up to 20 to 40 hours of work per week in exchange for a discounted RV site. Was that correct?
Yes, but we also do have paid positions too.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Mm-hmm. We do.
And what do they start at, or what positions are paid?
The managerial position is and then the managerial positions.
Okay.
Managerial / maintenance, because sometimes we have a husband-wife team that the husband or maybe even the wife does maintenance, and then vice versa for management, right? And those are paid positions typically. So.
Now, I know you've got the parks scattered around several states, but what are some of the things that people can do in those areas in their off time that really attracts them to that particular area to live and work?
Yeah, so where our 2 parks are in Tennessee, the one is right on Douglas Lake. We have a boat ramp, boat slip, so people enjoy the lake during the summertime. We're also 30 minutes from Gatlinburg and about 30 minutes from Great Smoky Mountains. So people enjoy all kinds of stuff with Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and the Great Smoky Mountains. The Great Smoky Mountains is actually the number 1 or number 2 destination for a number of visitors. And it's a pretty big mountain range, so that's obviously a big number, but we're right at the foothills of that, and we're also right on Douglas Lake. We're very close to lakes and hiking trails in Tennessee, And then in Kentucky, we're right on Lake Cumberland. That's what attracts a lot of people, is the lake itself, good fishing, good hiking. And then also in northern Kentucky, there's things to do right outside of Cincinnati. Typically, people are coming there for the weekend. They enjoy Cincinnati, or to the south, there's lots of good hiking and lots of state parks, as we're kind of out in south of the city of Cincinnati. So there's lots of outdoor activities to do within an hour from where we are in every location. That's typically what attracts a lot of people, is the national state parks and different lakes around the area.
What's one thing you wish all your work campers knew before they came to work for you?
Tell me what your expectations are for the role, and don't just take the role because you think it'd be a good fit. If it doesn't feel right, I'd rather you just tell me.
That's fair enough. Where can people get more information about this opportunity and your business or the parks?
They can go to our website, which is treesidecommunities.com, and that should list all of our properties on there. The website, as of today, the 14th of July in 2022, it might be under construction still. We're revamping a bunch of stuff in it, but it should be up running soon. Or they can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, or just shoot me an email. And we also post positions from time to time through Workamper as well.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Ryan. I really appreciate your time, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of 2022 and even more luck in getting work campers to come work for you in 2023.
Appreciate it, Craig. Thanks for having me on.
I thank Ryan Groene for coming on the show to talk about Treeside Communities and the ways work campers can help the firm's RV parks and manufactured housing communities in exchange for free RV sites. Ryan is always looking for work campers to manage current workload and to help at new locations the company acquires. At least one of the communities is open year-round, while the others are usually open from April to October. Applying for positions starts with an email to Ryan that includes a work camper's resume. After reviewing the resume, then he sets up phone interviews to discuss the job requirements and expectations. People can make their applications stand out by describing how they went above and beyond what was required at other jobs. Ryan also encourages applicants to research Treeside Communities in advance to learn more about what the firm does and who it serves. He encourages work campers to be crystal clear about their expectations when applying for and interviewing, rather than just taking a job to see if it's a good fit. For more information about the company, people can visit www.treesidecommunities.com. To apply, work campers can send a message through the Contact Us feature on the homepage. Today's episode is sponsored by The Dreamer's Journey. It's an online course and community produced by Workamper News. Life is way too short to keep your dreams on hold, so don't be held back by fear, because you were designed for more. Get started in the RV lifestyle the right way with this comprehensive guide. For just $29.95 for 1 year of access, Dreamers have unlimited viewing of 50 plus videos to learn things like what type of RV to buy, goal setting, how to budget for the adventure, developing a positive mindset, setting up a domicile, and operating a small business on the road, plus everything about work camping, how to find the right job for you. Each video is 30 to 90 minutes long to give in-depth coverage on each topic. There's no wrong time to get started, so for more information, visit www.rvdreamersjourney.com. That's all I have for this week's show. Next time, I'll speak with a work camper from Wisconsin who shares stories about where they've traveled and jobs they've had. I'll have that interview on the next episode of The Work Camper Show. Thanks for listening.